So you need a new string trimmer, maybe you're a new homeowner, and maybe you're on a budget. Is the Powersmart 40V battery-powered string trimmer worth buying? Let's find out. Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, giving you the best tips and tricks to survive life in and out of the garage. All right, let's dive right in here. The model number on this string trimmer is DB2603, and it is made in China. This string trimmer does come with a 2-year warranty, but with all Powersmart products, save the box for warranty purposes. Let's open this baby up. We have our instruction manual right on top. They pack this thing pretty tight. Here we have what looks to be our battery. Let's unseal this bad boy. There we go, our 40-volt Powersmart battery. And then let's get the charger out of here. Here is our charger. I'm gonna stick the charger right here on the workbench. I wanna get this battery charged up nice and quick. So this is Powersmart's 40-volt 4-amp-hour battery. A 4-amp-hour battery is pretty nice considering with a lot of new tools, you're getting a 2.5-hour amp-hour battery with it. It's got your 3 charging lights here on the top, and it is actually pretty quiet. I did read though that this battery does take about 2.5 hours to charge. We'll see how long it actually takes. While that baby's charging, let's get some other stuff out of the box. We have our upper handle piece. We have our lower trimmer end. We have our debris shield and a bag full of goodies. Let's spread this bag open here on the workbench. We have our handle, the lower part of the handle, a rubber vibration dampener, and 2 extra spools of line. That's pretty nice. We have a guardrail and a couple nuts and bolts. So the manual says for step 1 to install the production bracket. But if you look here, it's actually called a protective bracket. Let's put the bracket on. I'm gonna slide it into the slot, flip it over, and then from here, just extend it up, drop it right in. Let's set it so it's out of the way. Step 2 is all about installing the guard shield. In order to install the shield, we gotta take this screw out right here. I'm gonna use my impact driver so it comes out nice and quick, but you can also use a screwdriver. Out it comes. Next, we're gonna piece this guy in like so, line up the square on the bottom, and just simply shove it in. There we go, now we're ready for the screw. There we go. The shield is now on. This is just some tape here covering the cutoff blade. Let's take that off. Good, razor sharp, my goodness. For the next step, we're gonna install our auxiliary handle. And what we have to do here is take the battery end and we're gonna look for the hole here on the bottom side. We're gonna take our rubber sleeve, and we're gonna wrap that around the bar. We're gonna line this hole up with the hole inside. Then from here, we're gonna take this bottom end of that handle, and if you notice, there's a screw inside. That screw goes in this hole. It is a little tricky to line it up, but once you're in, lock it down with a screwdriver. Hold up, we have found our first dilemma here. Take a look at this screw here. This screw is supposed to line up with this hole here. And as I stick it into that hole, look at this. This block is supposed to be below this edge, and it doesn't go that far down. It actually sits on top of it. So we have a inaccurate measurement here with this hole, and as you can see, I've already tried sticking that screw in and it's marking up the metal here. That hole is not drilled in right. Even with this dampening sleeve, you can see that as I stick it in, it's supposed to stick into that hole. Somebody didn't do their measurements here. So now we're just gonna take our handle, we're gonna take this bottom panel and stick it on without the screw. Now that I have this bottom piece on, what I'm gonna do is take the handle, make sure I line up the grooves, and stick that on. And then from here, we're gonna insert our screws from the top side. Now this is where the fun begins. You gotta take 4 of these little lock nuts, stick them into the grooves, make sure they fit in right, and then from here, twist in your bolt on the top. Insert that screw. Now we'll come back to the other corner, shove it through, and one more, bolt on the top, push that baby in. Now in order to get this handle nice and tight, I'm gonna put this in a diagonal fashion. Good, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, good. I'll tell you what, that handle's not going anywhere and we didn't put that other screw in. Screw it, leave it off to the side, you don't need it. Now we're gonna put this handlebar together, we're gonna take these 2 parts and insert them like so. Notice the 2 arrows align with each other right here. And then from here, take this tube, slide it up, twist it up. That's actually pretty solid. That's not going anywhere. And last step, we're gonna take our battery here off the charger and then simply flip it over and drop it on. So that's it. That's how to assemble the Powersmart DB2603 string trimmer. So now here's the facts on this 2-in-1 string trimmer. The entire unit weighs 13.1 pounds, and without the battery, it feels very forward heavy. Once you put the battery on, it feels nice and balanced. With the click of a button, it converts from a string trimmer to an edger, and then from here, you can edge your driveway, sidewalks, patios, and walkways. Pretty cool for getting a tight edge. It has an ergonomic design with an adjustable head to better fit your height. Runtime on this machine is between 35 and 50 minutes. The spool here has a 12 or 13-inch cutting swath, depending on how you set the cutting knife. All you have to do is simply take out these screws, flip it over, and you have a wider cutting swath. Max cutting power on this unit is between 6,600 and 8,500 RPM. And you see this button right here? In order to get more line out, what you have to do is stop the unit. You might want to take the battery off for safety reasons. All you do is simply tap that button and then pull the line out, and it'll come out in short increments so you can increase your line length. When you run out of line here in the spool, all you simply do is push in these 2 tabs here on the sides. The cover comes off, you replace your new spool, feed your line through the hole, and then simply put your cover back on, lock it down, and you're done. The unit does have 2 speeds. You do have to throttle the trigger ever so slightly to achieve both of them. Here's full speed, here's low speed, back to full speed. It's a great tool for trimming and edging all around your yard. Well, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go whack some weeds and test the effectiveness of this edger. So here's what I like on this string trimmer. In trimmer mode, this unit gives you a nice level cut with plenty of power. It can rip through grass in one pass. I noticed that I was able to trim everything along the one side of the house, and then I'd have to manually tap the line out, and then the trimmer would be ready for the next side of the house. The battery on this unit had plenty of power to get the job done. Check it out, it's still got 3 bars. I trimmed my entire property, went across the street, edged and trimmed my neighbor's driveway and sidewalk, and I didn't even lose a bar. Pretty remarkable. I think battery equipment gets a win here in the string trimmer department because you're not always throttling down all the time, draining the battery out. Maybe more so when you're edging with the unit, but the intermittent use helps keep the battery going longer. In edge mode, if you have a relatively decent edge to begin with, this edger can help you get a tight line right away. Here in edge mode, you could see the string spinning around nice and easy. This is also a really good option if you have those brick pavers along your patio, your sidewalk, or your walkways. A blade edger could damage those brick pavers pretty easily. So this is actually a really nice way to get a tight edge on those. This unit also wasn't too heavy to carry around. It felt pretty balanced, and with the battery pack here on the back, this provides you some additional support here and takes the stress off your wrist. The trimmer even felt pretty sturdy considering that there's a lot of plastic on here and some pivot points down at the bottom. It didn't even feel wobbly or shaky while using it. Now here's what grinds my gears with this trimmer. This unit has a single line, which makes it take a little bit longer to cut through grass. You'll have to slow down a little bit, which really isn't a deal breaker. But me personally, I'm used to double strands coming out of the spool. That way you can increase your efficiency. Guess I'm spoiled by that now. The line on these units is also a little bit thinner. It's 0.065 line, which means it's gonna wear down a little bit faster. Which also means that you're gonna have to manually tap that line out a bit more often. I noticed this mostly on edging when you're hitting that concrete at a high speed because the string is hitting concrete at a high speed and it's a little thinner, so it's gonna wear down fast. Next, tipping the trimmer like this in order to do your edging when it's not in edge mode is an absolute no-go. The shield on the end is so big that you can't see your line and you often miss your target. You can see here that I did a number on my back edge and the garage gal wasn't too happy. Yeah, about that. Lastly, I noticed that this thing really needs a longer shaft. If you are a taller person, you will be bending down a lot with this unit, even while you're edging, because since it's a little shorter, you're forced to lean forward with it. Now I'm 5'9", and I was bending down just a little, and it was hurting my back. So who is this trimmer built for? Well, if you have a 5,000 square foot lawn or smaller, and maybe you're a new homeowner, and maybe you're on a budget, I'd say that this is an overall win. You have some versatility with this unit, and the fact that you can flip from trimming to edging on the fly is a nice feature. If you kept this unit clean and you don't attack seriously high brush with it, this unit then should last you several years if used for basic lawn care purposes. Plus the battery could be interchanged between several other Powersmart tools. So if you were to buy into the Powersmart line, you could run quite a few other machines. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.